Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Urban Hedgers. I'm your host, IntelliCrick. And first and foremost, I want to start this off by sending my prayers out to those who have been affected directly and indirectly by COVID-19 or the coronavirus. I know these are hard times for us all, but I'm optimistic that we will persevere and push through and come out victorious in the end. So once again, just want to send those prayers out to those who have been affected. Okay. With everything that's been going on, it had me thinking about some, things that I've talked about in the past on previous shows. And one of the things I had talked about in previous shows was about how to calculate your melt value, okay? And you may say, why would I bring that up now? For multiple reasons. Right now, a lot of things are shut down. You have, governors, they have issued for restaurants, sit-down restaurants, bars, sporting events. Just a lot of things are shut down. Schools. And with all those things being shut down, there was also a stay-at-home order that was issued for a lot of states. And basically, you have some businesses that were allowed to stay open, and they're what you call pandemic essential businesses, okay? These were businesses that were deemed needed during this pandemic or during this crisis, okay? And the state I'm in, under the financial and insurance institutions, the following things fall under essential businesses: banks, currency exchanges, credit unions, and pawnbrokers. Pawnbrokers, this is the one I want to talk about, okay? And the reason why I want to talk about it is because, when situations like this happen, people get laid off, people lose their jobs. And I was just reading in the USA Today that 3.3 million people have applied for unemployment, and there's more to come. And when those type of things happen, people fall on their luck. And so, people may want to pawn items that they have. They may have some gold jewelry, and they're hard up for cash, and so they may take these into the pawnbroker. But my biggest concern with taking things to a pawn shop is that sometimes, and I've experienced it firsthand, so I'm speaking from experience, some pawn shops will try to rip you off. Just plain and simply put, they will try to rip you off. Okay, so with that being said, I just wanted to give some of the pros and cons to going to a pawn shop, okay? Because you have to do what you have to do in times like these, especially when you have dependents or people that are dependent on you. So you have to do what you have to do. So one of the pros of a pawn shop is it's quick cash, okay? And you can sell your item or items, or you can pawn your items. But just understand that when you pawn the item, you will have to pay monthly interest on that item that you pawn. Okay. So what are some of the cons? Less cash for your item or items, high interest. And like I said, you have to pay interest, but if you miss those interest payments, you can lose the item or the items that you have given to the pawn shop as collateral for the loan. Okay. So with that being said, I just think it's important for people to understand how to calculate the value of the gold that's in their necklace, bracelet, or ring, okay? So let's look at this gold purity chart here. On the left side of the chart, you have carats, okay? These carats go from 6 to 24 on the chart. Now, I want to show you something here. Look down here at 24. 24 would be pure gold, okay? Look at the hallmark. It's 999. Or when you turn it into a percentage, it's 99.9% gold, okay? But your jewelry, your bracelets and things like that, they're going to normally be or tend to be in one of these other carats, not 24. This is normally like gold bullion or something like that. So let's just pick 10 karat, for example, okay? So if you look over here at the parts gold here, basically everything here from 6 to 22 will be divided by 24 karat, okay? So for example, we have 10 karat gold here, right? This 10 karat will be divided by 24, which would give you 417 or 41.7%. This is actually rounded. You'll see as we do the calculations that it's more like 0.41666, something like that, okay? But now as you go down to this chart, you'll see 18 karat gold, the parts is 3/4. Now, this is just showing you the reduced fraction. These are the reduced fraction here, 5/8, 3/4, 5/6, okay? If you were to take this 18 karat and divide it by 24, you'll still get 750 or 75%, okay? So let's keep it moving. Now we're going to talk about precious metals weight. Precious metals weight. Precious metals are weighed in troy ounces, okay? Okay, how do we get to a troy ounce? There's 31.1 grams in 1 troy ounce, okay? And it takes 12 troy ounces to make 1 troy pound. The reason why I'm explaining to you about the troy ounce, this is not the standard ounce that most of us are used to using daily when we go to the supermarket. The way that we use the ounce, or should I say that we use at the store, is what is called avoirdupois. I'm referring to avoirdupois as standard weight because that's normally what we weigh our fruits in, weigh ourselves. That would be avoirdupois, okay? And how do we get 1 ounce with avoirdupois? That's 28.35 grams. That would give us 1 ounce in avoirdupois. As when you look at troy ounce, it takes 31.1 grams to give you a troy ounce, okay? Moving forward, and it takes 16 ounces to get 1 pound in avoirdupois, as opposed to in troy it takes 12 troy ounces to get 1 troy pound. Okay, so that's the difference. Remember that all precious metals are weighed in troy ounces, where everything else will be weighed in avoirdupois. Okay, let's do some calculations. I don't want to be before you long. I just want to go through this as fast as possible. Okay, so what we have here on a scale, we have gold. Okay, we're just going to say it's 10 karat gold. Okay, so with that being 10 karat gold, we need to find out what is the percentage of gold that's within this, or the purity. Okay, so we will divide it by 24. And when we divide the 10 karat by 24, we get 0.4166. Okay. Now that we have the 0.4166, we're going to find out how many grams. You want to weigh this and find out what the grams are of your necklace, okay, or your jewelry. But understand, if you have, let's say, 10 karat and 18 karat, you need to separate them by the carat. Do not weigh them all together. Weigh them by the carat. So if you have 5 rings that are 10 karat, weigh those together. You have another 5 rings that are 18 karat, weigh those together. Weigh them separately, okay? So weigh the carats separately, don't weigh it all together, okay? But just keep the light carats together, okay? So with this, purity is 0.4166, okay? Or you would say, if you took it and turned it to a percentage, 41.66%, okay? So what we're going to do with that, we're going to multiply it by 47.37, as you can see down here in the scale where the arrow's pointing. So when you divide when you multiply 0.4166 by 47.37 grams, you get 19.7375, okay? So what do we do with that 19.7375? We're going to divide it by the grams that we need to get a troy ounce, okay? And remember, 1 troy ounce is 31.1 grams. So we're going to measure this by grams, okay? So we're going to divide this, okay? So when we divide it, we get 0.6346. This would be our AGW, our actual gold weight, okay? So our actual gold weight in the jewelry on the scale is 0.6346, okay? And then what we're going to do with that actual gold weight, we multiply it by the spot price of gold. So let's say if gold is $1,800, you would do 0.6346 times 1,800, and that would give you your melt value. Okay. And when you know your melt value, it makes a big difference when you're going into a pawn shop or anywhere else for that matter. Okay. They cannot tell you, for example, I experienced this personally. One time I had a gold necklace years back. And I was just curious. I already knew the melt value of the gold because I did the calculations beforehand. So I went into a pawn shop and I told the guy I would like to pawn the item. And so when he looked at it, he took it back, did the test and everything on it. He came back to me and he told me he could give me, if I wanted to, well, he wanted me to sell it, actually. He said, if you wanted to sell this, I can give you $110 for it. But yet I knew that the gold that was within that was worth almost $400. He gave me the excuse, well, it's only 10 karat, blah, 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 blah. But I knew the value. So I immediately said, no, thank you, and walked out. Took it to another pawn shop, and they offered me $250 for it, which is much better. I mean, it's still a little less, but I would never expect to get spot price for it. But that was a big difference. So imagine if you go in and you don't know the value of that, of the jewelry that you have, you could get ripped off. I'd rather have $250 as opposed to $110. So that's why it's important to know how to calculate your actual gold weight. Okay. So let's do a final summary real fast, and we're just going to go over the calculations again. I'm going to put them up here on the screen for you. So remember, we just calculated the melt value for 10 karat gold. Okay. So remember, you take the 10K and divide it by 24, which would give you, 0.4166. Okay. That is your percentage or your purity of your gold, okay, within your jewelry. And then you'll take that 0.4116 and multiply it by the grams. Now, on the scale we had 47.37 grams. But if you have 10 karat gold at home, let's say you put it on your scale, and weigh it in grams, and it's 15 grams, you would still do your 0.4166 because that's the purity of 10 karat gold. Okay. So you would still do the 0.4166, but instead of having what I have here, it'll be 0.4166 times 15 grams. Okay. But in our case, we had 47.37 grams, and that equaled up to 19.7375. And we're going to take that 19.7375 and we're going to divide it by 31.1 grams because 31.1 grams equals up to a troy ounce. So we're going to divide it by 31.1 grams, and that gave us a melt value, it gave us an actual gold weight of 0.6346. Okay. And from there, we'll take that AGW and multiply it by the spot price, which would thus give us our melt value. So I just wanted to do this because I think that in these trying times, people need to know what they have and what the value of what they have. Now, it's not realistic to go to the pawnbroker or the pawn shop thinking you're going to get spot price for your jewelry. But like I said, if you have $800 worth of gold, you don't want somebody offering you $150 for it. You at least want to walk out that door with half the value, or 60% of the value of your merchandise. It's especially if you're selling it. If you're just pawning it, you may not want to. You may want to get less because you want to make sure you can still afford to get it out later. But these are just important things that people need to know in times like this, because you never know what you may have to do. Okay. So once again, this is IntelliCrick, the Coin Medic. Please comment and subscribe. And if you know someone that needs this information, please share it with them. Okay. Once again, thank you for watching Urban Hedgers, and you have a good day.